This is good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. Shout yourselves out in the comments. Tell me where you're checking in from. Name where you're checking in from. We're going to get started in a minute. I'm just pulling up what I want to share with you all here. Make sure I give y'all, of course, as usual, I want to give y'all some valuable game. I like to give people valuable game anytime I turn the mic on. That's fun. Giving people some game, give y'all something y'all can take with you that is actually going to help you. Well, it will help you if you use it. Now, just hearing is not going to help you, but if you use it, this will help you actually do something. So we're going to talk about how you can stop quitting, stop giving up so easily, how you can make sure you are delivering on your promise, delivering on the promise that you were given with your talents and abilities. So as y'all come in, shout yourselves out in the comment section. Let me introduce myself for those who don't know me. My name is Dre Baldwin. Many know me as Dre all day, former 9-year pro athlete, author of 33 books, creator of 4 TEDx talks. I create this whole brand called Work on Your Game. It's all about taking the tools, strategies, mental tools, strategies, systems, and accountability to help athletes get to the top 1% in the sports world, translating them over to the business world, and helping you all perform at a higher level, be more consistent, and of course, in business, make more money. What's going on, Aaron, in the comments section? Thanks for shouting yourself out. Today, we are talking how you can stop quitting. Challenge with quitting. All right, why I talk about this is because most people understand and appreciate the value of persistence. Almost all of you are familiar with the concept of persisting, to keep trying. You've heard the saying, quitters never win and winners never quit. All of you have heard that before, right? Yet, people still give up on things when things look hopeless or results have been slow to show. And I understand that, because if things don't look good, then who wants to keep working on something where you're not getting a result? I mean, that's pretty hard to do. It's hard for any human being to do, to keep persisting on something where you're not getting the outcome that you want. But today I want to help you via some reverse psychology. I'm going to share with you the reasons why most people give up on anything. And when I give you the reasons why people give up, I want you to notice if I'm pointing out any reason you've ever had that might have led to you giving up. If you just fix these reasons, again, this is reverse psychology. If you fix these reasons, then maybe you won't give up so easily moving forward. So basically you can check yourself, because I'm going to give you a list of things that you should not do or you should not allow to exist in your life. And if you get rid of these, then maybe it won't be so easy for you to give up and quit on things when they're not getting the result, when you're not getting the result that you want as quickly as you want to get it. Now, let me offer a disclaimer before I even get started in this, is that just because I'm telling you these things does not mean that you should never quit on anything. Because there are some things that you should quit on, because sometimes you're just in the wrong place doing the wrong thing. And if you keep persisting in the wrong thing, then you could never get to the right thing. So this is an art more than it's a science. What that means is this goes off of your touch and your instinct, and how you decide to look at things is really going to be the determining factor in whether or not you quit on something and get rid of it and move on to something else, or if you keep persisting in something and keep trying until you get the outcome that you desire. There is no black and white measure of how long you should work on something before you quit. There's no black and white measure on when you should quit something because it's not working, because there are people out there who might work for years, 2 or 3 years on something, quit, and then they move on to something else. And then within the first 6 months of the new thing, everything blows up and they're doing amazing. They never would have got to that new thing had they not quit the old thing after 2 or 3 years of working, right? But at the same time, there are other people out there who might work for 3, 4, 5, 8 years on something, not get a result. Most people will look at them and say, dummy, why don't you just quit? Why don't you stop doing that and do something different? They don't quit. They persist. And then in year number 9 or year number 10 or year number 4, all of a sudden everything blows up for them because they didn't quit and because they persisted. So I'm giving you the disclaimer up front here that there is no black and white way to know when you should quit something and when you should not quit something. You get to decide that, and you must make the final decision. Even if you get information or you get feedback or advice from somebody like myself or anyone else out there who's an expert in their field, they can give you advice and tell you what they think and what they see. But the bottom line is the final decision has to be made by you, because you're the one who has to live with the outcome. So if you ask me, you come to me and say, Dre, I'm doing this thing and I'm working on this. I'm working on it for this long. This is what's happened. I don't know if I should quit or if I should give up. I can tell you what I think. I can tell you what I see, and I can tell you what I know. But ultimately, whatever decision you make, I don't have to live with the decision. It's your life. You're the one who has to live with quitting if you decide to quit and move on to something else, And you're also the one who has to live with persisting and keep doing that work if you decide not to quit and you decide to keep going at that thing that you're working at. So ultimately, this is your decision that you need to make. So with that said, let's get into this and talk about what are the reasons why people quit so easily at anything that they're doing. Number one reason, and these are not in any particular order, they're actually pretty much all equal, the reasons people quit. Number one reason is unwillingness to be pushy and aggressive. This is the number one reason people end up quitting at anything they're doing is your unwillingness to be pushy and aggressive when going after your goals. So what do I mean when I say pushy and aggressive? Now, some of you might think, when you hear those words, you might think that means with other human beings, right? Being pushy, like trying to sell something, or aggressive in trying to get somebody to do something that you want them to do. Yes, that's part of it, but also being pushy and aggressive can also be with your goals. Are you being pushy and aggressive with yourself? When it comes to, are you being aggressive in making sure that you show up every day and do the work that you're supposed to do? Are you being aggressive when it comes to when your alarm clock goes off at 6:30 every morning? Are you actually getting out of bed, or are you hitting that snooze button and sleeping for another 15 minutes? Are you being aggressive in writing down your to-do list for the 8 things you're supposed to get done today? And are you aggressively making sure you get all 8 of them done and not giving yourself an excuse for not getting them done? See, being pushy and aggressive can mean your engagement with other human beings, but also being pushy and aggressive can also mean what you're doing with yourself. What are you doing with the person in the mirror? Because see, the thing is, if you're not willing to be pushy and aggressive and demanding with yourself, with the person in the mirror, then you are unqualified to push or be aggressive or demanding with another human being. You see, if you don't force yourself to do what you're supposed to do when you tell yourself you're going to do it, then how are you even qualified to tell somebody else what they got to do when they're supposed to do it? They're not going to be willing to listen to you because there's going to be something about your energy that's off because you don't even listen to yourself. So why should anybody else listen to you? And you won't be willing to be pushy with another person because as soon as it comes time when you need to give somebody else that kick in the butt to let them know they need to do something because they're being slow or they're procrastinating or they're just not moving with enough energy. As soon as it gets to the moment that you're ready to do that or you know you need to do it for another person, the first thing that's going to flash into your mind is what you know about yourself. Is that, damn, you know what? I don't even do this to myself. I don't even make myself show up at this level. How can I force anybody else to do it? Then you're going to hesitate. Or even if you try to do it, you're not going to have the right type of energy. And we know most communication is nonverbal. So when people, they're going to notice something about your energy is off. Even when you're saying the right things, your energy is off. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to follow you. And then your communication is going to be ineffective with other people because your communication with yourself is ineffective. So what all this means is when I say being pushy and aggressive is that you got to start with the person in the mirror. You have to hold yourself accountable if you want to be able to hold another person accountable. You can't hold anyone to account for anything for which you don't hold yourself to account. So this is the starting point, is dealing with the person in the mirror. You haven't read this book right here called The Mental Workbook. You see that red book right there? That's the book that all of you need to read when it comes to programming your subconscious mind. And to keep it simple, what that means is programming your subconscious is that 85% of your thoughts are controlled by the subconscious mind, not the conscious mind. Consciously, you're thinking about the words that you hear me say right now. That's the 15% of your brain that's about 15% of your brain, the conscious stuff. So when you read a book or you see an Instagram post or you listen to somebody talking on a video, your conscious mind is processing what you hear. Your subconscious mind controls the other 85% of your thought process. That's the stuff that really controls your actions. Your actions are controlled by the subconscious. You just come up with a conscious justification for every action that you take, and you think you thought of it yourself. And I mean, your subconscious mind thought of it, not your conscious mind. So if you really want to get control of your actions in life, what you need to do is program your subconscious mind. That book right there, The Mental Workbook, shows you exactly how to do it, and I walk you through it. That's why it's called the workbook, because you're actually going to write in that book. There are pages in there for you to write on. I'm going to share with you what to write, how to write it, and then how to use it, how to study it on a daily basis so you can condition your mind and make yourself be the person you need to be. You can get that book at workonmygame.com/workbook, or you can just get your free copy of The Mirror of Motivation or The Third Day. When you get any one of those books for free, in the funnel, as you go through the funnel, we're going to offer you the Mental Game Super Duper Bundle. This book will be one of them, along with that book right there, Work on Your Game, that book up there, 30 Days of Discipline, and a bunch of other books that I got. We'll ship you a whole bunch of books. Nobody reads one book anyway, so you might as well get all of them together. So this whole point, being pushy and aggressive, these are required for you to break through the glass ceilings or those mental ceilings that will allow you to stand out from the masses. Most people are unwilling to push themselves to do anything. Why? Because pushing yourself is uncomfortable. Most people are unwilling to get uncomfortable enough to achieve the outcomes that they say that they want Therefore, they're unqualified to achieve them because they're not willing to push themselves. We all understand the concept of the comfort zone, right? Comfort zone is basically all the stuff that you're used to doing, all the things you're comfortable with. And if you look around at your life right now, it's a reflection of your comfort zone. Your life is a reflection of the comfort zone that you currently exist in. If you want to change your life, you have to change what your comfort zone is. That usually means expanding your comfort zone. You don't need to shrink it. You can change your life by shrinking your comfort zone too. But I doubt most of you want to shrink your comfort zone. You probably want to expand your comfort zone so more things are normal to you. So if your comfort zone is making 50 grand a year and you want to make 100 grand a year, you're going to have to expand your comfort zone in some way so that 100 grand becomes normal for you. Right? So then if you make less than 100 grand, something's wrong. Right? There are people out there who, if they don't make in a month what you make in a year, is an emergency. Well, how would you like your comfort zone to expand to that level? If you want to get to that level, there's some changes that you have to make fundamentally with how you think, and that will lead to changes fundamental you make with your actions. That is not just a matter of getting yourself hyped up and motivated and watching some YouTube video. You got to actually go do the work. You got to do real work with somebody who actually knows how to help you do this work. That's why I pointed you to the mental workbook. And that's why inside of Work on Your Game University, which is the pinned link that you see there, number one thing that we help people with is building and installing the bulletproof mindset. Now, while Work on Your Game University, yes, we focus on helping people make more money because that's the main thing people go looking for. Main thing you need in order to make more money in your business is not more products or more services, or you got to get better at closing sales. Yes, you will get all those things. You need those things sometimes. But the main thing you need is a change in mentality, because when your mentality changes, all the actions flow naturally from a changed mentality. Everybody follow what I'm saying here? When you change your mindset, the actions come naturally with it. So you don't want to try to change your actions first, then you'll change your mindset. No, you change the mindset and then the actions will come with it. They come as a package deal. You don't have to think about changing your actions. When you change your mindset, you'll automatically pick up new actions because the mindset will direct you towards doing things differently. So you have to be willing to make yourself uncomfortable. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And the more often you do that, because you are willing to do it, the more easily you'll be able to move yourself into new spaces and advance yourself in life. The reason many people end up stagnant in life is because they stay in the same comfort zone for a really long time and never do anything about it. They never change the situation. You can't hit your goals without moving yourself aggressively out of your comfort zone. All right, got it? Point number 2. Today we are talking about why people quit so easily and how you can stop quitting. So actually reverse that. How to stop quitting, and I'm sharing with you why people quit so easily. Second reason is your goals are impotent goals. In other words, your goals are weak. They are not exciting, and they are not strong enough to move you to action. This is the reason why people quit. You have weak goals, or you don't have goals at all. All right, some of you don't have goals at all. You don't have. How many of you have your goals written down on paper to where you can pull it up? You can pull it out and you can see it any day of the week. You can just pull it up and say, "Oh, here are my goals right here." Many people don't have their goals written down, and some of you only write goals once a year. You get around the end of the year, you write down a bunch of goals for the year, then you don't look at it again until Christmas of the following year, and then you're like, all right, let me write some goals for next year. And you don't look at that again until Christmas of the next year. That's not the way you want to do goals. You want to be writing down goals as often as possible. There's no such thing as too much when it comes to writing down goals. I suggest people write goals for every year. Then you break them down by the month. You can break them down by the week and the day. You can break them down by the quarter as well, especially in business. A lot of businesses do their goals quarterly, and then they'll break it down monthly, and they'll break it down weekly. And then daily, you just have your to-do list or your action points that you need to take, but they should all be connected to the bigger goals. Many people quit easily because they don't have any clear goals. So when things don't seem to be working, because there are no goals to cross-reference your actions against, you look at it like, well, what's the point? What's the point in me continuing to work on this? Where is this taking me? Where is this going? What is this doing for me? You don't really see where it's going. You don't see the point of it, and then you quit. Well, you're right. There is no point to it if you don't have goals. If you don't have clear goals laid out, then you are right. There is no point to doing what you're doing. That's why goals matter so much, because what goals do is they keep you focused on what's the destination? Where am I trying to get to here? So if you're overweight by 75 pounds, and you're going to the gym every day for a month, and you only lost 2 pounds, and you're trying to lose 75, after a month, you're going to be like, why am I going to the gym every day? This is too much. This is too hard. I'm tired. My body hurts. My knee hurts. I'm tired of going to the gym. I'm tired of eating these vegetables. I'm tired of drinking all this water. I'm tired of my personal trainer making me do burpees. You don't see a purpose of it if you don't have the goal clearly stated. If you're clear what the goal is, I'm going to lose 75 pounds this year, then You could go through that month where it's really hard and it's really tough, and what I call the third day, you can go through that situation and still show up the next day. Why? Because you know where you're headed. You know what the big picture is. But if you don't know what the big picture is in your life or in your career or in your business, then it's very hard to to persevere and persist through challenging situations. This is why having clear goals matters so much, because the goal will remind you of where you're going on those days all in the process, those long days where things don't seem to be working out. So if you can't see that vision in your mind of where you're supposed to end up, then it's very hard to keep working every day. It's hard to keep showing up. It's hard to get out of bed in the morning because you're like, man, I got to go do this again. I got to go do this work. I got to go to the gym again. I got to go to the office again. I got to get on calls again. I got to reply to these emails again. Nobody wants to do that if you don't know where it's taking you, if you don't see the point. What's the point of doing all this stuff? The point, everybody, is the goal. That's why you set goals, and you got to make your goals clear. Your goals need to speak to you. So however you need to lay them out so that they make sense to you, that's how you got to lay your goals out. And again, in this book, The Mental Workbook, I show you exactly how to do all that. So if you struggle to get out of bed in the morning when your alarm clock goes off, or it's hard for you to stick to your nutritional plan, or you can't bring yourself to record that first video or the first episode of your podcast, or to publish that blog, or to put your book on Amazon, or make that phone call that you've been telling yourself you need to make for the last 10 weeks, here's the reason. The goals behind those non-actions are too weak. That's why you're not doing anything. The reason you don't act on your intentions is because there is not a strong enough goal moving you to action. And that's why you keep hesitating. That's why you keep procrastinating. That's why you keep second guessing yourself. That's why you keep not doing it. That's why you keep pushing things off for another week and another month and another year. And you keep telling yourself, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it at some point, and some point becomes never, simply because there's not a strong enough goal behind those actions. In other words, you're setting yourself up to lose by having weak goals. Your goals must be compelling enough to make you do what you need to do in order to get to them. Your goals got to be strong enough to move you through, Stephen Pressfield calls this the resistance. What is the resistance? The resistance is that internal energy that is pushing to keep you in your comfort zone. And we just talked about the comfort zone. Comfort zone is what you're used to doing, the way that you're used to living, the mindset that you're used to having. And again, that is a reflection of the life that you live right now. If you want to change your life, you have to press yourself out of the comfort zone, which means you got to deal with the discomfort that comes with doing things that are not normal to you. And if you don't have a strong enough goal, when you get uncomfortable pushing out of your comfort zone, the comfort zone will pull you back in, because the pull of the comfort zone is stronger than the pull of the goal. The goal is going to pull you out of the comfort zone. The comfort zone is going to pull you in. So you got two forces working against each other. They're both pulling you in two different directions. Which one is going to win? They're not going to split your body in half. No, what's going to happen is the one that is stronger is going to pull you away from the other one. So if your goal is stronger than your comfort zone, then you will be pulled to expansion. If your comfort zone is stronger than the goal, then you'll be pulled to basically staying the same, or some people call it stagnation or mediocrity. So what is the goal? What's the outcome that you're trying to reach? If you don't know, this is the exact reason why, again, you've been stagnant. So if you felt like you've been stagnant for the last 2 years or the last 6 months or the last 5 weeks, it's because the goal is too weak. You got to get a stronger goal. If you need to change your goal, change your goals. Nothing wrong with changing your goal once you start. A goal is simply a plan for future success. So if the plan, and once you start executing on the plan and the plan is not working, change the plan. Don't change the fact that you have plans. Still have plans, just change the plan. So if you're going somewhere, if you're driving and you got the GPS on in your car and there's a detour or there's a car accident, what does the GPS do? The GPS says, okay, there's an accident this way, so we can't go this way, but we still want to get to the goal. We just got to take a detour. We got to go around. It's the same thing you can do with your goals. If you're not getting the outcome now because the goal isn't strong enough, change the goal. But don't stay in the same spot and then just sit there doing nothing, because eventually, again, your time's going to run out in life. And when your time runs out in life, we call that death. We call that dying. And when you die, only thing that's going to matter is what you accomplished. And if you didn't accomplish anything, then that's what people are going to remember you for. Nothing. And a week later, everybody's going to forget that you were here. Moving on to point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is how to stop quitting so easily. And I'm kind of reverse engineering this by explaining to you the reasons why people quit. So why people quit so easily. So if you notice these, if you notice yourself being guilty of any of these, you can make your adjustments immediately. Number 3, reason why people quit so easily: too much influence from other people who also suffer from points number 1 and number 2. In other words, you are influenced a lot by people who have weak goals and people who are unwilling to push themselves out of their comfort zones. In other words, you got a bunch of mediocre people around you, or a bunch of losers around you, or a bunch of bum ass people around you. This is the main reason many people quit. You got a bunch of quitters around you, so you do what they do. As the saying goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans. So if you're hanging around a bunch of quitters, you're going to quit. You hang around a bunch of losers, you're going to lose. You hang around a bunch of mediocre people, you will be mired in mediocrity. Why? You don't have a choice. Why? Because the law of association says you become the average of the people you spend the most time with. I don't care if you spend time with 2 people or 30 or 50. However, whatever number of people you spend the most time with, you are going to become them. So if the people around you are mediocre or bums or losers, or they are attracted to staying in their comfort zones, that should explain to you why you are doing the same thing that they do. And let's be clear about this. The people that most of you spend most of your time with, these are your coworkers, your friends, and your family. Let me take a sip of water while you digest that point. The people you are spending the most time with are your coworkers, people you work with, your friends, usually people that you just grew up around for whatever reason. You didn't really actively choose these people. They just happen to be around, so you hang around them. Those are your friends. And then your family. These are people that you are blood relatives of. And here's the problem. Here's the problem with this. Coworkers, friends, and family. These are people that you are around by default. You didn't choose these people actively. Most of the people you hang around are by default. They just happen to be in the same physical vicinity as you, so they just became your associates, right? Here's the problem with this. Most people, by definition, are average. Most people are average. I mean, that's the definition of average, is where most people are. Since most people are average, and most of you did not actively choose your friends, you just chose whoever was around you by default, then it is reasonable for me to assume, without even knowing you personally, that most of the people you hang with, your friends, your family, your coworkers, are a bunch of mediocre, average-ass people. And you're hanging with them, which means you are going to be a mediocre, average person. Unless you actively start changing your associations. How do you do that? How do you actively change your associations? What you do is you need to get around other high-level individuals. You got to get around other high-level individuals. Why? Because their influence will rub off on you. Meaning, if they're playing a game at a higher level than you and you're hanging around them all the time, your level will go up because you will have no choice but to be influenced by their energy. Your level will go up because you're hanging around people who are playing the game at a higher level than you. You cannot elevate to a higher level hanging around average people. You're hanging around people who are below your level, you are not going to elevate while you still hang around them. You can't do both at the same time. You got to pick one. How do you get around higher level people? First of all, who are these higher level people? Well, first, you get to identify them. So think about where you want to go, what type of person you want to be. Identify who are the people who are playing the game at a higher level than you. These might be in a work environment. Maybe they're making more money than you. Maybe they have more clients or customers than you. Maybe they're doing more business than you. Maybe you just listen to them talk and they just know more than you. They're smarter than you. They got more experience than you. Maybe it's that. Maybe they're in better physical shape than you. Maybe they are just more positive than you. Maybe they have more friends than you. You got to decide what is it that makes somebody high level to you, because you have different areas of life that matter at different levels for different people at different points in your life. So first of all, identify what that different level is. So let's say you wanted to make more money. Okay, identify the people who are making more money. Then ask yourself, where are these people at? Where do they hang out? Where do they go? Who do they talk to? Who do they associate with? And then your next job is to scheme and plan for how do you get in the same spaces that those people are in. Good news about the world that we're in today, because we have these phones, because we have social media, is that everybody likes to tell you their business. They tell you where they're going. They tell you where they're at. They have gatherings. You need to go to these places. Wherever they're going, you need to go. So if they're having an event, somebody who's a higher level person than you, and you want to get to their level, and they have an event, you need to buy a ticket and go to the event. Meet that person. Shake their hand. Exchange information with them. See how you can give them value. Meet the people that they brought in. Meet the people who are also interested in that person. Because guess what? They're trying to get to a higher level just like you are. Those are the people you need to be friends with. Not just the person on the stage, but the people in the audience. Those are the people you need to meet. Because guess what? They had the same idea you did. Let me go to this event so I can learn more about what this individual is doing so I can get to the level that they're at. So you need to go to that event. So if I see somebody who I think is playing at a higher level than me and I want to get to the level that they're at, I will go to their event, or I go to an event that they're going to, either to meet that person or to meet the people who they attracted, because those are the kind of people I want to associate with. Any of you can do this. None of you is exempt from doing this. All right. So when someone has an event, they put tickets on sale on purpose because they want people like you to come. They want you to come to the event. So do that. Go to the event. If they have a meetup, go to the meetup. If they put out a product or a course, sign up for the product or the course. They have some kind of group situation, a group coaching program, something like that. Join the program. Pay to be in the program. Why? Because you're not only going to get to learn from that individual, which is probably the closest you can get to them. The other thing is you're going to meet all the other people who had the same idea that you had. This is you're dealing with people who are on the same wavelength as you. They're thinking the same way that you're thinking. These are the people you need to associate with, folks. This is where the game is at. And again, anybody can do this, because all of you who are watching me right now, all of you have a smartphone. All right, so I got the iPhone 13. The last I checked at retail, the iPhone 13, this phone is like $1,100, right? So $1,100. Most events that people host, the ticket is less than $1,000. There's some events where the tickets are more than $1,000. But many events, when people have their general events, like general information event, maybe if they have a high level thing, it might be much more. But the general information events, most people's events, the tickets are $1,000 or less. So if you have one of these and you got this is like your 8th or 9th iPhone, that means you do have the discretionary income to buy a ticket to an event. If you could buy this, you could buy the event. You could buy a ticket to an event. And I only have an event to sell to you. So I'm not trying to sell you anything. You could go to anybody else's event. I'm trying to sell you on raising your level so that you can hang around higher level individuals. And when higher level individuals meet up together and they start dealing with each other, you get what we call synergy. Synergy is when all the people working together in the spirit of harmony to create a new entity that is not even a human being. And they call that the mastermind. That's where the concept of masterminding comes from. When two or more people work in the spirit of harmony, they create a third brain that is like a third person, but is not a human being. When two people are working together in a group, you get 10, they create an 11th brain. Whatever number of people is, it creates an extra individual. That's when everybody's working in synergy. But you can't create that synergy unless you hang around some high level people. So, which means in order for you to get around high level people, you got to get away from your bum ass friends and family members and coworkers and the neighbors who live in your neighborhood where you grew up. You got to stop hanging around them so you can start hanging around the higher level people. And that means you're going to have to invest in access. Everybody got it? You got to invest in access. Everybody heard that phrase? What does that mean, to invest in access? That means you put money on the table so you can get around people who are playing the game at a higher level than you. Now, you may be asking, Dre, why would I pay money to hang around some people who are playing at a higher level than me? Because they otherwise might not want to hang with you unless you put some money on the table. All right, you're buying your way into the game. There's nothing wrong with this. This is the smartest way to do it. It's actually the fastest way to do it. Fastest way, most of the time in America, especially in Western society, fastest way to get anything done is using money. I ain't saying it's the only way to get things done, but it's the fastest way to get something done. If I want to get 1,000 people to look at one of my websites right now, the fastest way for me to do it is to go give Facebook some money. And they'll send 1,000 people to my website in like 30 minutes. Call it advertising. That's the fastest way to get access to anything, is to use money in Western society. And there are some societies where your money may not work as quickly. But here in the United States, money is the fastest way to get access to anything. Anything. Name it. The fastest way to get it is using money. Now, I'm not saying money is the only way, but it's the fastest way. And all of you have access to money. That's the reason why I pointed out this. All you got one of these, right? Okay. This device is a camera, is a web browser, an MP3 player, all wrapped in one. It costs at least $1,000. All y'all got one, and you pay for it every month. You pay the bill every month, which is somewhere between $50 and $100. All y'all paying for this every month. Okay, so all y'all got money. All right, so I don't want to hear no excuses about money. There you go. Pay for access. This is the fastest way to get around the people who you want to be around. And when you get around the people who you want to be around, they won't be quitting. They have ideas. When things are not working, they know what to do next. They got a way of pivoting. If something's not working, a way of changing, a way of making adjustments. And when you're hanging around them, guess what you're going to start doing? You're going to start thinking the way that they're thinking. And when your ideas are not working, you can go to the group and say, hey, group, hey, friends, my thing that I'm trying to do this, this, and this is not working. Here's what I tried. Here's where I'm getting stuck. What do y'all think? What do y'all see? They'll be able to help you out. So now you won't be stuck anymore. See, many of you are stuck right now trying to figure something out. And the reason you're stuck is because you're trying to do everything by yourself. Here's the problem when you try to do everything by yourself, folks. Eventually, you're going to run out of time. You're going to run out of talent. Nobody has unlimited time. Nobody has unlimited talent. Nobody has unlimited talent. All right, the most successful people you know got a whole bunch of people around them who do stuff that they don't have to do. Name somebody who's successful. Name a successful business person, famous person, athlete, an entertainer, an entrepreneur, a politician. They all got a whole bunch of people around them who do stuff so that they don't have to do it and they can focus on the main thing that they do. Who's somebody everybody knows? LeBron James. Sorry, he's great at basketball, right? LeBron James' main thing is to play basketball. So who handles his business affairs? There's somebody who does that. Who handles his, who picks up his dry cleaning? Somebody does that. Who handles making sure his cars stay clean? Somebody takes care of that. Who makes sure that his food is cooked? Somebody does that. Somebody takes care of all that stuff for him. Gary Vaynerchuk. Somebody put in the chat. All right, Gary Vaynerchuk don't do everything by himself. He doesn't do everything on his own. When he puts a video out on YouTube, do you think he edits the video? When he writes a book, you think he does all the editing for the book? Did he design the cover of the book? Probably not. He probably doesn't do any of that stuff. He probably got he has a whole bunch of people. I don't know exactly who the people are, but I guarantee you he has people around him. He has a company. So he has people around him who take care of the other stuff so he can focus on the things that he does best. And what he does best is be the expert and share his thoughts and his ideas. He's the one on the camera talking, but there's somebody else recording it. There's somebody else who edits it. There's somebody else who puts it out. There's somebody else who does all the other stuff so he can focus on doing the main thing, which is what he does best. Now, he might teach them how to do it, but once he teaches them how to do it, he can remove himself from the situation. You can swap out his name for a whole bunch of other entrepreneurs or your favorite singer, rapper. I don't know about rappers. You can take him out to your favorite singer, entertainer, athlete, whatever. Anybody who's a high-level performer. They don't have to be a famous person. I'm just asking for a famous name because all you would know who I'm talking about. So the thing is, when you get high-level people around you, you don't have to do everything by yourself, so you can focus on what you do best. Now, you need to know what you do best so you know what to focus on, so then you can start eliminating everything else. Somebody say he don't speak none of their names. Nah, I question that. I doubt that. I don't think that's true. Now, you might not hear it. That don't mean that he doesn't appreciate them. Just because it's not on camera doesn't mean it's not happening. Now, with all that said, let me recap what I just shared here today. How to stop quitting so easily. And I'm sharing with you in reverse engineering why people quit so easily. These are things you want to make sure you don't do. Number one, unwillingness to be pushy and aggressive, specifically with yourself. You got to be willing to push yourself to get out of your comfort zone. You want to grow, you got to get out of your comfort zone. Means you got to stop doing the same things over and over again, and you got to move yourself to do stuff that is uncomfortable for you. Most people never do this. This is why most people never advance in life. Number two, impotent goals. Your goals are just weak. You got weak goals. This is why you hit the snooze button when the alarm goes off in the morning. This is the reason why when you tell yourself these are 8 things I got to get done today, you only get done 3 of them, and you push the other 5 over till tomorrow, and then the next day and the next day and the next day, and you got the same to-do list now that you had 2 weeks ago because your goals are weak. You got trashy, weak goals. You need stronger goals. If your goals are not moving you to action right now, get new goals. All right, goals are just a plan for future success. So if your plan is not working, modify your plan. Number 3 is you get too much influence from people who suffer from points number 1 and 2. In other words, you hang around a bunch of mediocre, average, bum people. And these are usually your family members, your friends, and your coworkers. And they are usually average people because you got around them by default. You need to get around people who you got around by choice. People who you sought them out and said, I want that person in my circle. I want people like that to be, the people in my contacts. I want these to be the people that I'm calling and texting the most often, not just random people who you randomly came across, people who are serious about achieving success and you went and sought them out, or they went and sought you out. As long as you vet them and they're on the level that you want them to be on. If they're not, you got a right to pass on that. But you want to get around those right type of people. So with all that said, Work on Your Game University.com. That is the place where you go to work with me directly. That's the only place to work with me directly. That is where my coaching program is at. That's where you can get access to all the courses. Like I told you, the number one thing that we help people get when they come into the university is the bulletproof mindset. Now, we teach people about strategies for your business, the business builder framework, and the Work on Your Game system, and the accountability and the execution. But the most important thing is the bulletproof mindset. So when you get the right mindset in place, all the actions follow the mindset. The mindset does not follow the actions. The actions follow the mindset. So Work on Your Game University, you want to work with me, that's the only place you need to go. Go to that website. The link is in my bio, also on IG. That's the best place to work with me directly. I'll put my number in here for my text. If you don't get my daily motivation text, text me at this number right here. I send this out every day, the daily motivation text, free of charge to everyone who's in my text community. So if you want to get that text every day, just text me at that number. That is 305-384-6894. If you want to get the daily motivation text. And what else I got to tell y'all? I think that's the only thing I got to announce. So I'm putting this on Facebook as well. So I do these lives on Facebook too. So any of y'all who's on Facebook, you can just go to my Facebook page, which is Facebook/Work on Your Game. And also we got my business group, which is 6 Figures and Growing. That's also on Facebook. So that's it, everybody. Y'all have a great afternoon. Check your goals. Start making your goals for next month. If you're watching this on live or at the end of the month, I'm recording this near the end of the month. So make sure you check your goals for the following month. Start setting your goals right now. Look at your previous month's goals, what needs to carry over, what you need to adjust, what new goals you need to put in place. Cross-reference this against your goals for the year. Make sure you're getting on track because we're almost halfway through the year. And that's that. Everybody have a great afternoon. Work on your game. You hit me in the DM also and you got a question, or hit me in the text message. You got a question. Work on your game. We out of here. Dre all day.